right, folks, Fairfax County, Virginia, where that shot, by the way, is moments ago. That earlier today, there was a perp. We don't know if it's a man, woman. Certainly not a they, them, because those things don't exist anymore. So someone pointed a gun at CIA headquarters in Langley. That's Fairfax County. That shot from the street. Just take a look. There's a lot of police activity. Apparently, no one was killed, as far as we know. So far, we don't know. It says no one has been killed yet. Police are still at the scene, as you can see. Again, that was moments ago. And while we were watching that shot, someone got arrested, handcuffed and arrested. Take a look at this. So we don't know who that person is, but this was just while we were just keeping an eye on Fairfax County, Virginia, again, CIA headquarters. Someone earlier today aimed a gun at CIA headquarters. You want to go down fast? That's what that was likely. I don't know who that is, though. We don't know what prompted that arrest right there. So again, moments ago. Also, literally just maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes ago, White House Deputy Chief of Staff in charge of policy and Homeland Security Advisor Stephen Miller spoke at the White House defending the deportation of TDA Tren de Aragua. Take a look at this.
Tren de Aragua, who is in our United States illegally, should be allowed to commit crimes limitlessly until such time as that individual is incarcerated, that it should be open season on Americans, that TDAs come in, it's like ISIS coming into your country or Al-Qaeda coming into your country, and that you let them stay here, catch and release, catch and release, catch and release, and then eventually, only after they've served some prison time in America do they get sent out. Our job is to send the terrorists out before anyone else gets raped or murdered. Other questions?
Outside the White House last night featured Palestinian flags, but also I saw Hamas flags flying outside the White House. Does this administration believe that the flying of these flags could be a national security risk outside the White House?
Well, I'll reframe the question to just say that the administration continues to take the view that any foreign nationals who are visiting our country are prohibited from supporting any designated terrorist organization such as Hamas. Any other questions? Yes.
Is President Trump still calling for the impeachment of Judge Boasberg in this case, despite what Chief Justice Roberts said yesterday?
Of course the president stands by his comments. Absolutely, as do we all, as does the entire administration. You cannot have a democracy where single individual district court judges can assume the full total powers of the commander-in-chief. Even on the Supreme Court, it takes agreement of 5 Supreme Court justices to change a federal policy. 5. A single district court judge out of 700 cannot set policy for the entire nation, let alone on national security and public safety issues. The president has been clear that he has tremendous respect for Justice Roberts and believes it's essential the Supreme Court crack down and stop this assault on our democracy from these radical rogue judges that are usurping the powers of the presidency and laying waste to our entire constitutional system. Last question.
Can you explain more on the identified terrorism issue of the Teslas being destroyed? Can you explain more on the issue of the Teslas?
Yeah, the president strongly condemns left-wing domestic terrorism in the clearest and most forceful terms we possibly can. Yes, quick question.
What she was trying to say was that, not arguing that there were TDA members on the plane, but there were other people. Is there going to be other evidence to show from the administration that they're
all trained to Aragua? And again, let me give a concrete example of this just to illustrate the principle here. Let's say that you have a family living in a neighborhood, and next to them, they have little children. Next to them is a trained Aragua gang member who, as a document of the proclamation, are sent here by a hostile regime and is the most violent, ruthless, criminal terrorist organization in the Western Hemisphere. So, do our counterterrorism officers arrest and remove the terrorist, or do we say, we'll leave you there, you can rape and murder the people next to you, and then after you rape and murder them, and then only then will we remove you? We're not going to let anyone get raped or let anyone get murdered by terrorists. All right, I got to.
Again, that's Stephen Miller, Deputy Chief of Staff, right under Susie Walz, who's the Chief of Staff. But there are several Deputy Chiefs of Staff, and Stephen is in charge of policy. He's also, I guess he's helped Trump develop his immigration policy, which is so strong and so good. And Stephen Miller is all about sending back Tren de Aragua gang members, sending them back, and how an activist judge, a local judge, usurping the president of the United States. It's wild. Again, that was right outside. So the Oval Office sits within the West Wing. The West Wing and the Oval Office are on both sides of the area that is between the White House and the executive office building. Miller obviously has his office near the Oval Office and the West Wing. So we'll keep an eye on that. If he comes back out and says anything else, I always want to hear from Stephen Miller. So do you folks. All right, welcome back. Happy Wednesday. I can't name a single person who takes Jimmy Kimmel seriously. His dive into politics has been an absolute disaster, highlighted by his unwavering support for Kamala Harris. Remember that? Which ended with his teary-eyed monologue after Trump crushed her in November. Despite the constant losing, Kimmel keeps on talking. His rants have gotten more aggressive to the point that he's now calling for violence and vandalism, just like the rest of the Dems. Listen.
Our co-president, Elon Musk, sent a SpaceX vehicle to bring the astronauts back. And when they landed, he fired them immediately upon landing. Tesla stock is way down, almost disastrously so. People have been vandalizing Tesla vehicles, new Tesla vehicles. Please don't vandalize. Don't ever vandalize Tesla vehicles. And so...
And what I'm doing here is I'm showing how dumb Kimmel is. Okay, so he said Tesla stock is way down. It's $235 a share. 1 year ago, it was $175 a share. It's way the hell up, Jimmy Kimmel, you dumbass. And by the way, calling for Tesla to go bankrupt and the crowd reacts in a positive way. You want Elon Musk to go bankrupt. Tesla's the number 3 car maker in the world right now. Number 3. And not only that, it's not even a car company. Everyone thinks Tesla's an automobile company. Tesla is a technology company. Tesla's developing the technology for humanoid robots that China's trying to get into every household in the world. Trust me on this. You don't want a Chinese humanoid robot in your household. It'll tell China everything you're doing, maybe even videotape it and record it. You want a Tesla, the ones that are built right here in Texas now, because Elon moved the Tesla plant from California to Texas. Thousands of Tesla owners have been threatened by nasty Democrats. Yet a man who wanted to be our vice president is practically celebrating it. That guy, big tampon, Timmy, loser. Watch.
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So... And if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out, just telling you.
1 year ago, tampon Timmy, 1 year ago to the day today, March 19th, 2024, $172. That's $50 higher. My buying math is about 30% higher. So over a year, it's increased 30%. I'm sure your bank account hasn't increased 30%, tampon Timmy Walz. Tim Walz is such a confused little man. He thinks he's a comedian now. What was that, stand-up? You can tell he's never understood the concept of social awareness or self-awareness for that matter, and still can't tell that most of the country thinks he's an absolute joke. Listen to this next clip and try best not to laugh in that little man's face.
But I think this notion of toxicity in masculinity needs to be separated. And I think it's been conflated. And I think we're going to have to work on that a little bit. And I think there is a crisis.
I think some of us scare them. I think I scare them a little bit why they spend so much time on it. No, I'm serious, because I can fix a truck. They know I'm not bullshitting on this. Yeah. I'm not putting this in people's grill. I don't know if my identity is not hunting. My identity is not football coaching. My identity is not, a beard and a truck.
Okay. All right, Timmy. You mean you can fix a truck, but you can't load a shotgun. Remember that? And you can fix a truck, but you don't know the rules, basic rules of football, and used to be claimed to be a former football coach. Walz and Newsom went back and forth in what ended up being an extremely entertaining and stupid conversation. Here's another one from Tampon Timmy, basically claiming that he can take on just about anyone from across the aisle.
This
How do you
notion
fight it?
This
I
notion
think
of
I could kick most of their ass. I do think that if they wanted to. I know I can outrun them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
Okay, we'll have Bannon on later. We have Steve Bannon. Newsom, but he said WWE, right? Newsom and Tampon Timmy against me and Bannon. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's bring it. Bring the popcorn. I think Rav has cameras everywhere. They'll show up and we'll tape it. We'll do it live. Bill O'Reilly, F it. We'll do it live. Has anyone noticed that Mitch McConnell these days looking a little like, I don't know, Biden 2.0, asleep at the wheel, dazed and confused a bit? His brain left the building years ago. But now we can actually hear him say it.
Here in Kentucky or talk to him about it being a bad policy at all?
My hearing is not what it used to be.
Tariffs, Senator. Your comment is about tariffs. Tariffs. Comment about tariffs.
Oh, yeah. I'm not a fan of tariffs. I hope it works.
Tariff, Senator. Tariffs. What? Taliban? What? Time for you to go, Mitch. I know he's not leaving. He's just leaving the leadership, the Senate leadership. Insane. Got to go. Mitch has got to go. Alec Baldwin, remember that guy? Well, he's everyone's doormat. Nobody respects this man anymore at all. If he wasn't such a jerk, I would almost feel bad for him. Look what he has to go through now. Let me set this up for a second. Don't roll it yet, Mad Dog. Don't roll it yet, because Alec Baldwin does a show called The Baldwins with his wife, Hilaria. Now, Hilaria, if you remember, Hilaria claimed to be Hispanic, and she was on a cooking show once, and she couldn't remember how to pronounce or the name of a cucumber. She said, how you say cucumber? Well, it turns out Hilaria was born and raised in Boston, Massachusetts. So she's got a history of being a little wacky, right? And it goes on and on. But here, in the show, I guess is doing well. You want to watch the Baldwins blow up? I guess we're voyeurs on all of this. The show's doing well. So Hilaria is interviewed, and Alec's right next to her. And the interview wants to know about the new show. But watch how this goes down for, well, I'm not going to say poor Alec because he killed someone, but for Alec Baldwin.
The Hilaria show.
No. I think we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it feels to have it be out there.
It's gonna be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God! When I'm talking, you're not talking.
Sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why. Yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. No.
When I'm talking, you're not. Woo. The Baldwins, folks. I might have to tune in just to watch, see if that goes on. I personally love to watch the insane leftists have meltdowns. I find it very entertaining. Watch this woman pretending to be a dude react to the government labeling her a woman on her passport.
Hey guys, so got my passport back. Guess what's not corrected? So now I'm a male with Social Security, a male with Medicare, a female according to my passport. I couldn't even make this video when I opened it. I wanted to do a video opening it and hopefully being surprised, and of course I was so excited I just ripped it open and looked, and then got the shock of my life.
There are men and there are women. Trump said it, 2 genders in America. You got a new passport. It's going to be one or the other. You pick it. It's America. It says United States of America on that passport, right? You don't like it and you want to go somewhere else where you can have they, them. Go for it. Go for it. Bye-bye. See you later. Doors over there. Turns out this guy Trump knows a thing or two about how to run an economy. Listen to this great update from the National Economic Council Director, Kevin Hassett.
And I think that the consumer got walloped by, the fact that grocery prices went through the roof. Joe Biden killed hundreds of millions of chickens and the egg prices were crazy. I went to the grocery store and did some field work, which is actually the way my wife gets me to work on Saturdays, and filled up all the grocery bag with groceries. And I've noticed a big decline in March of prices. And so I think you're going to see a lot of good news when we get the March data. But for the eggs that we buy every week, they went from about $9 for a dozen to $4.99 a dozen this Saturday. And I think a lot of people are feeling a lot better about their groceries given the policies that we pursued in the last couple of months.
Yep. Inflation coming down. Egg prices are below where they were when Donald Trump took over. They can't blame high prices, right, Hakeem Jeffries, on Trump anymore. It's not his. Going forward, if it goes back up, I agree with you. He'll eat it. But right now, inflation's coming down on his watch. In fact, so much so that the Fed today at 2 o'clock, 2 hours ago, came out and said, we're leaving rates alone because everything seems to be working fine. Stock market goes up 350 points afterwards. He knows what he's doing, folks. We'll be right back. 2 minutes.
Hello, this is Mike Huckabee. President Trump said he wants to take back the White House and teach our kids to love our country. That's why my team created a kids guide to President Trump. It'll teach your kids all about President Trump's accomplishments and his vision for America. And right now, I want to give it to you for free as part of this free gift bundle.
Order your free kids guide to President Trump, get a free bonus guide, and a free membership to AMAC featuring dozens of money-saving benefits at kidsneedtrump.com. That's kidsneedtrump.com.
Wounded Warrior Project empowers post-9/11 veterans and their families with life-changing programs and services.
I faced my PTSD, and I'm a better husband and father because of it.
We help warriors get the expert care and support to thrive.
I got involved. I got healthier. I got to be an athlete again.
Through our programs, community, and advocacy, we're proving
anything is possible.
Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/connect.
Life can be unpredictable, and at some point, we all face hard times. If you're struggling with IRS or state tax debt, the real fear of wage garnishments, liens, or even bank levies can be overwhelming. But here's the good news. You have options. And Legal Tax Defense is here to help you navigate through it all. Their skilled team of tax defense attorneys help individuals and businesses dramatically reduce their tax debt. With Legal Tax Defense, your initial consultation is completely free. Their experts will deal directly with the IRS on your behalf. My advice, don't go it alone. The IRS won't wait, and neither should you. Put the tax pros at Legal Tax Defense on your team and get the tax resolution you need. So whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, call Legal Tax Defense and schedule your free evaluation.
Call 800-409-6084. That's 800-409-6084.
In a crisis, your number one need is food. But here's the good news. 4 Patriots is offering a special buy one, get 2 free deal on its best-selling 72-hour survival food kits. Hurry, go to 4patriots.com now.
Kevin paid off over $12,000 in credit card debt with the help of Consolidated Credit. They cut his interest rates and lowered his payments so he could pay off his debt fast. Call 800-596-8062 for a free consultation.
Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is. Sloppy Joe's Key West. I've been there. Man, I was there in college, and that was a long time ago. Sloppy Joe's. Ernest Hemingway, by the way, used to hang out at that bar. He loved to be in Key West. He wrote a lot of his stuff from Key West. He loved Sloppy Joe's in Key West. And just about every single afternoon and evening, they put a live band in the back of that place. And if you've never been there, you got to see Sloppy Joe's Key West. Welcome back, everybody. Earlier today in Fairfax, Virginia, Fairfax County, a gunman was arrested outside the CIA. He was pointing a gun at the CIA headquarters. He was arrested. We showed a little bit of VO. It's called VO, voice-over film. There it is. And that's not the actual gunman that we know of. I think the gunman was long gone by then. But while we were watching, right around showtime, a couple minutes before, that person was arrested. That's a little bit of the activity surrounding that. We heard, so far the police have said no one was killed. But again, you point a gun at the CIA, you're lucky if you're not killed. All right, late last night, President Trump released over 80,000 pages of government documents on the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Here to give us some insight is former CIA officer and author of Twilight of the Shadow Government, Kevin Shipp. Thank you, Kevin. They tell me you do a podcast surrounding these types of things. So I'm still trying to figure out, good to see you, who's been pushing back about releasing all the information? What's the issue? Where's the sensitivity? Maybe I just don't get it.
Well, knowing the system and having been 17 years in the CIA was using the typical sources and methods reason to redact information. They do that to Congress pretty regularly. And so even though the information was long gone in terms of operations, they tried to use source and methods to redact this information on the JFK assassination or events surrounding that. And President Donald Trump, in a historic move, basically forced the CIA to drop that excuse and unredact. Some of this has been published before, but it was redacted. But forcing the CIA to unredact this information, which is really something to see.
So well, let's roll a soundbite from last night. We had Congressman Tim Burchett on, who's really involved in it. He's got his fingers, hands in it. He wants to investigate. He wants everything. Listen to this little interchange. Who's hiding? Who's protecting this information? And why can't we just see it all at once? Let us do the dirty work.
Well, Trump's going to let us, but that's been the fight up to this point, and I just think that the trail has been swept clean since then, and I just don't think we'll ever actually know who did it.
And Kevin, I'm going to call you here a little bit because you said the same thing. They redacted it. They have pushed back, but Trump got it. Who are they, and why?
Well, we're talking the CIA senior management, and I'm very cautious about these documents that have come out. I don't think there's going to be a smoking gun with direct CIA involvement in the JFK assassination, although there's other information that has come out about Jack Ruby and Oswald and things like that. If you remember, when the Church Committee uncovered the MK Ultra CIA mind control program, just the tip of it, CIA Director Richard Helms immediately destroyed 10,000 MK Ultra documents. So to think that the CIA is going to retain records on the murder of a sitting president somewhere in a file room down in the basement of CIA headquarters, no. If that's the case, they were destroyed immediately. We may find some puzzle pieces, and there's some interesting stuff, no doubt, in this, but no smoking gun as yet.
So I'm trying to follow the story, right? I'm trying to follow the story to find out why. So CIA, you're saying the CIA likely has been redacting and covering because of the methods that they used back then. I mean, I don't think it's a secret.
Yes.
I mean, we had Mike Benz on a couple of weeks ago telling us that CIA was kind of so dirty at the time that State Department took the CIA out of the State Department and put them separately so that they couldn't have the same DNA. And then it got further even when they started using USAID. So there are operatives this many years, 60 years later, that are still worried about the reputation of CIA officers 60 years ago?
Certainly. And even Mike Pompeo said the upper 20% of the CIA management, and I was on the 7th floor with CIA Director William Casey, the upper 20% of the CIA, they do not care about democracy and they don't care about the Constitution. They care about the preservation and expansion of the CIA. I was in there, of course, saw that. There's no question about that. So they're going to do whatever they can to protect the CIA's existence. And if any information comes out pointing exactly to the fact that they murdered a sitting president, that's the end of the CIA.
So is that it, Kevin? Is it? You know, there's speculation that the CIA may have had an involvement of getting rid of JFK because there were factions that didn't want JFK removing Fidel Castro, or is that what it is? The thought process being that a sitting president was murdered by friendly fire, or that the policies that JFK was promoting and pushing weren't acceptable to the powers that be that weren't present at the time?
Oh, no doubt it was his policies. You remember JFK was so upset with Allen Dulles, the director of the CIA, because of the Bay of Pigs, which was done behind Kennedy's back, that his famous quote, he was going to shatter the CIA into 1,000 pieces. And in these new documents released, one thing that is important is a memo from Arthur Schlesinger, one of JFK's advisors, discussing how they were going to reorganize the CIA after the Bay of Pigs because it had gone behind Kennedy's back. So that's one important piece that's come out now. But then you had essentially the big military-industrial contractors. Kennedy wanted to pull out of Vietnam. That's about $1 trillion in revenue. The military-industrial complex corporations like Lockheed Martin and those were detested Kennedy, and they were totally against him. Then you had the mafia running drugs and CIA operations into Cuba. Jack Ruby was part of that.
Let me ask you this. I got a minute or so left, and this is an important question. You know, a good quarterback makes sure his offensive line are taken care of, aren't disrespected. But a quarterback who says, I got sacked too many times because my offensive line stinks, will tend to get smoked the next game because the offensive line will go, Oops.
Yeah.
So did the CIA plot, do you think, to kill JFK, or did they just let it happen?
No, in my opinion, after the research I've done, for example, they uncovered a CIA Tokyo station payroll receipts from the CIA to Lee Harvey Oswald as a CIA employee. So there's no question the fact that he worked for them. They also uncovered that CIA counterintelligence chief James Angleton created a 201 ZR rifle file on Oswald, and that's where you create an asset. And if he becomes a vulnerability or you need to take him out, you can legally, in the CIA's terms, assassinate that person. They had that file on Oswald, and so there are things out there. These are not theories. This is evidence of Oswald's involvement, and there is a lot. We could spend an hour on the evidence that's out there that indicates, in my mind,
who put the money in the pocket or the gun in the hand of Jack Ruby?
Well, if the CIA was behind the entire operation, then of course they would have done that. We do know another fact that Jack Ruby, with the mafia, was running guns on CIA payroll in the ZR rifle program, under the ZR rifle program manager. He was running guns to Cuba on a CIA contract. That's a fact. The fact is he was under the manager of ZR rifle, which was the employee assassination program to take out Oswald when it was needed. Those are not theories. Those are all facts. So there is, I think, a lot of very good evidence of CIA involvement to take out Kennedy. Remember that Kennedy fired Allen Dulles from the CIA, and he despised Kennedy after that. And he had secret meetings with senior CIA officers on how to get rid of Kennedy.
I want to bring you back because
motive.
you're an interesting character. You're great. You're a great guest, and I'm sure you got a lot of information. I'd like to talk about a lot of things CIA. We'll bring you back, Kevin Shipp. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Eric.
All right. So we'll be back in 2.5 minutes.
My back got injured very bad. I was off work for about a year. I heard about Relief Factor from my wife. I took it every day, 3 times a day for 3 weeks. Look at her and I said, the pain is gone. And she said, I'm glad it helped. I said, no, you don't understand. It's gone.
You too can feel better every day with Relief Factor, a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Call or go online now for our 3-week quick start, just $19.95.
Allergy season is Navage season.
So when you're dealing with allergies and you've got that stopped up feeling and you can blow your nose and it's a little bit better, using the Navage takes it all away. Put the water in the top chamber, put the pod in, close the lid, put it in your nose, push the button, you're done. It's natural, it's effective, it's fast, probably the best investment you could make if you suffer with allergies.
And for stuffy little noses, pick out the new Navage Baby Aspirator, now at Walmart in the baby department.
Did you know you could remodel your kitchen faster and for a lot less than at the big box stores? At Cabinets to Go, customize your dream kitchen with custom quality cabinets, countertops, and more. And enjoy a high quality, affordable kitchen makeover that is sure to wow. Visit one of our showrooms nationwide and get your dream kitchen today for as low as $149 a month at cabinetstogo.com.
When a cyber thief transfers the title of your home out of your name, it's a race against time to stop the theft of your hard-earned equity.
Many people don't know this has happened until long after it's done.
You as the homeowner think you still own a house. 3 months later, you start getting foreclosure notices and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house that you didn't even know existed.
So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim at HomeTitleLock.com.
If anyone has told you that gaining weight, feeling tired, and joint issues is just a part of getting older, they are wrong. My name is Dr. Stephen Gundry, and I found a new way to support my health. It's called BioComplete 3. BioComplete 3 works by restoring your gut health from the inside out. This is working for everybody.
I was 270. I'm now 140. It just feels amazing.
You can try BioComplete 3 risk-free for 90 days. Go to guthealthsecret.com.
Check it out. The eagle cam. Look at those little baby eagles. Those cute little baby eagles. Beautiful. Big Bear Valley. You know what? Mad Dog, that's not Eagle's Nest eggs, California.
Nah,
is
I
it?
don't think so.
Okay, got it. All right, folks. I've told you before. I buy gold. I don't just buy gold. I love gold. It's one of the best investments you can possibly make. A solid investment, no pun intended. I've had it for years. I never sell my gold. Birch Gold Group's special precious metal specialist, Philip Patrick, joins us to discuss. Philip, thank you for being here. I have to start off right off the top. First time ever this week. First time ever. Gold topped $3,000 an ounce. What a wonderful investment, Philip.
It's been, we're up 12 or more than 12% on gold for the year, more than 16 on silver, 35% for both last year. This is a very good climate, as you know, for precious metals. And given the problems in front of us, I think it's going to continue to move. Median forecast around 3,300 for end of this year. So it's looking good.
So another 10%, just another 10% for the rest of the year. So they're getting most incredible returns over the years. I'll never forget my first day on television, 2007. I was on Fox. Ducey said, what do you like, Bolling? I was their financial guy, analyst, and I pulled out an ounce of gold. And I said, Ducey, never sell. I own this. I'm never going to sell it. 1 ounce at $600 an ounce. And now here we are, $3,000 an ounce. Anything with the Fed, certainly what happened today, or their longer term outlook, gives you pause about the price of gold continuing?
No, not for gold. What's becoming very clear, so the Fed right now were unchanged, which wasn't a huge surprise to anyone. The dot plot, or their forward projection, is saying about 2 interest rate cuts this year, 2 quarter points. So nothing dramatic and nothing unexpected. The problem that the Fed have at the moment is they're sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? They're dealing with trade tensions, inflationary pressures, economic volatility. They got one eye on recession risks and the other on the inflation rate. So they're stuck between a rock and a hard place at the moment. The government are going to want the Fed to lower interest rates. It's going to help to ease the debt burden, and it's going to help to grow the economy. So we're going to have to see what's happening. But right now, no change. And I think, either one's going to be good for gold, whether we have recession or inflation, both are going to drive gold up. And that's why I say I haven't seen a better climate than today.
I haven't seen a thing that really is a negative to gold. And I've been doing this, again, before television. I was on Wall Street for 12 years. Gold is it's a solid investment. It just, all the market factors seem to point towards higher gold prices. I know how to do this, and I think you should let the folks know how to do this because it's really spectacular. When you call up and go, I want some gold, tell us the process of actually, and you're getting physical. Of course, you can move it into IRAs and things like that, but you can also get physical gold, right? Tell us how.
The answer is absolutely yes. And by the way, to be clear, we deal with physical precious metals, whether it's for a cash purchase or in an IRA. We're dealing with physical, tangible metals, no leveraged paper versions. For those that have cash in the bank, we can ship physical metal directly to them. They can hold on to it. For those that have retirement accounts, IRAs, 401ks, they can roll over any portion of the accounts, no tax implications or penalties, and we can place physical precious metals in there. So it's really simple. I can see on the screen, they text America to 989898. That's going to get them access to free information, which is big for us at Birch. We want our clients as informed as possible. So free information for all of your viewers. And it starts with a text to America to 989898.
And I will tell you, folks, and this is from me. Yes, we work with Birch Gold. This is from Eric Bolling, gold bug for my entirety of my career. When you receive these gold coins, an ounce of gold, it just does something to you. It's an incredible feeling. It's got value. You pick up $1, $100 bill, and like anyone can print that. Real gold, there's nothing like it. I got to leave it right here. Philip Patrick, thank you so much, and we really appreciate working with Birch Gold.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you again soon. My next guest has been a celebrated model and actor, but when people started talking politics, they shied away from his conservative leanings. Let's welcome Antonio Sabato Jr. And Antonio, good friend. I love having. Good to see you again, my friend. Long time. Every time I have you on, my wife's friends are like, "Oh my God, Antonio Sabato, he's so handsome."
Oh, thank you.
I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fix my hair up a little bit." I'm teasing.
Come on, you're looking great. Man. Look at you. New show, new beginning.
Awesome. New show. I'm going to tell Mad Dog very quickly, cue up the Hilaria Baldwin soundbite. We're going to get to it as soon as you let me know when you're ready with that, Mad Dog. But in the meantime, Antonio, you tell us how difficult it's been now with 2.0 Trump being a conservative in Hollywood. Jimmy Kimmel's calling for Tesla dealerships to be lit on fire. What are your thoughts on the hatred towards Trump? Is it subsiding in Hollywood?
I don't know. I mean, I got to tell you, I live a much better life knowing that I'm an independent right now. I don't take sides with any parties. I'm a conservative at heart, obviously. I love my country. I love the flag. I support our president 100%. I was the first one to support. I will continue. But I've seen both parties. I've been associated with both parties when I was young and stupid. I was a Democrat in Hollywood, and then I became a Republican. And, you have these two parties fighting all the time, making money, doing this, doing that, but nothing gets done. And then you have a leader, our president, who's trying to implement all these things, and nobody's working together. We are living, my friend, in the matrix. I mean, it's like everything that comes out, you don't know if it's the truth, if it's fake. They're promoting this. Now people are vandalizing Teslas. The same people, they were praying over this company. They were buying Teslas. All the actors in Hollywood would have 3 or 4 Teslas, and now they're burning. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. I can't tell you what's really going on. I am glad I don't have to rely on Hollywood. If they need me, they can call me, but I do other jobs. Because if I have to live a life where I have to live in nonsense or non-reality and agree with all the stuff that's going on that doesn't make sense, I would go complete insane. I have to make up my mind, and I have to live on facts and what's really going on. And the world right now, my friend, is the craziest I ever seen. Ever.
It really, really isn't. It doesn't look like Sean Hannity. I was texting Sean Hannity this morning. I was like, Sean, let's have dinner. He's like, it's so crazy. He's like, maybe it'll calm down, after the first 100 days. After the first 100 days, you think? Asked me, and I said, yeah, I think on 101st day it'll calm down, but of 2028, perhaps, maybe. I mean, it's just that it's what Trump does. I mean, he came in and he's doing exactly what what he's doing. He's draining the swamp. He thought he was going to do it the first time. He's actually doing it now. And this is great to watch.
I hope so, Eric. I hope but he's still one man, and you have rhinos, and you have a Republican Party that speaks a big game, but then there's no arrest. I mean, Miss Bondi, what are you doing? Where's the list? Where's the list with all the actors and celebrities and politicians, and where are they going to jail? So we're talking about, it's fun. It's great. I love our president. He comes out and says, we're going to have all this stuff about JFK. But then 60 years later, we have 80,000 pages or whatever about JFK. And nobody gets in trouble. Nobody goes to jail. There's nothing going on. Everybody's talking about maybe there'll be some new TV shows or movies being made. And Oliver Stone is going, I was right all along. But then it's like, they lied to us for 60 years. So if they lied to us for 60 years, what else did they lie about? About everything. Did we make it to the moon? Are we really going to Mars? Is it really going on? What's going on? It's like all these things are coming because there's all this, there's never the truth, my friend. I wish there was like one way we could say, give us the truth 100%, and then you can let everything else out. But at least we have the truth. But there's so many different types of truth coming from different angles that, if you're young right now in your early 20s in college, I don't know. I mean, you're going to be going left and right. You're going to make up there's not a clear exit on the truth. And I pray to God that we see the truth every day somehow, because if you live in a non-reality world, what's the point of living? You know what I mean? You got to live in some sort of truth.
Could be, the books could be cooked against you without you even knowing it, which
right.
I want to be optimistic. And you're so right. Like, well, how many of these things that they've told us have happened? We're shocked. Maybe the one.
I mean, look at President Trump, my friend. He was shot in front of the world. In front of the world to see in live television. We were all shocked. Our president being shot, blood everywhere. And there's no, what happened? Who was it? Who was the kid? What happened to the kid? Why was he allowed on the top of the roof?
Right.
All these things. And then time goes on. And then we're supposed to forget about it.
We had someone just say yesterday on the show or the day before on the show that shooter in Butler, they killed him and then they washed the blood down immediately and cremated the kid before they was able to investigate what it's all about. You are so right. Before we let you go, Aura Hotel, tell us about that. It's on your shirt.
Hotel Aura and private residence. I'm in real estate. I'm selling this building. It's a beautiful hotel that you can invest and make a lot of money. This is a great investment for Tampa. It's a first real 5-star hotel in downtown Tampa. that you can own a piece of and have revenues and really make it something up for yourself. And it's an investment. You can live in it, and you can also buy units. And it's a beautiful hotel that we're going to put on the ground starting next year. So now these are the pre-sales. Get in touch with me, call us, and we'll give you a virtual reality tour of the entire building. It's 5 stars, downtown Tampa, and I want you there. I want everybody to show up. It's going to be 5-star steakhouse. We have a beautiful, just check it out right here. And you see for yourself.
There you go. And Antonio Sabato Jr. I will go. Tampa's a great town. I love Tampa.
So.
I'll see you there. We'll go. We'll break bread, my friend. Good to see you, Antonio.
You too, pal.
All right, folks. 2 minutes. Be right back.
America has the greatest economy in the world, but I think most of us would agree we have a problem. The cost of almost everything is up. Home prices, rent, food, insurance. Every sector has taken a hit, including automotive. More Americans are keeping their cars for longer, including me. And one way that we can make life more affordable is CarShield, America's #1 auto protection company.
CarShield's rated A+ with the Better Business Bureau and named America's most trusted auto protection company.
With CarShield, drivers could save thousands on covered parts and systems like your engine, transmission, entertainment system, and more. It's the protection that I trust, just like these other happy customers.
With CarShield, saving the $2,700 has been a real blessing. I love CarShield. It is my lifeline.
Our life as nurses, we just step up and we help people, and it's really nice when somebody steps up and helped us. If our car breaks down, CarShield administrators have our back.
If your car's out of warranty, it's not a matter of if it'll break down, but when. Call CarShield before it's too late and protect yourself from expensive car repairs.
CarShield is ready to help year-round nationwide with thousands of vetted shops to choose from, or their concierge service to help you find a mechanic near you. Unlike other companies, they don't just send you to the cheapest place in town. I trust CarShield, and so should you.
I have filed a total of over 5 claims, and my price from when I signed up never went up. And with the age of my car, that is security.
CarShield is a U.S. company supporting hardworking Americans save over $1 billion in expensive auto repair costs. More of us are keeping our cars for longer, so give CarShield a call now before a breakdown happens. Call now.
Call CarShield now before a breakdown and see how they're saving drivers money on covered auto repairs. Call 800-635-5126. 800-635-5126.
In a crisis, your #1 need is food. But here's the good news. 4 Patriots is offering a special buy one, get 2 free deal on its best-selling 72-hour survival food kits. Hurry, go to 4patriots.com now.
Attention homeowners. Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Is the bank threatening to take your home? Is your home worth less than you owe? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to call this number right now.
Call 800-714-8615.
Look at the Shark Tank Baltimore Aquarium. Cool shot, MD. Well done. Hey, folks, the IRS is the largest collection agency in the world, and with April 15th fast approaching, it's more aggressive than ever in 2025. Enforcement has ramped up, and if you owe back taxes or have unfiled returns, waiting is not an option. The longer you do wait, the worse it gets for you. Ignoring your tax troubles is the worst possible thing you can do. April 15th marks another tax year that has passed you by. Getting ahead of this now is the smart move, but never contact the IRS alone. Instead, let the experts at Tax Network USA handle it for you. Why? Because not all tax resolution companies are the same. Tax Network USA has a preferred direct line to the IRS, meaning they know exactly which agents to deal with and which to avoid. With proven strategies to settle tax problems in your favor, whether you owe 10 grand or 10 million, Tax Network USA's attorneys and negotiators have already resolved over $1 billion in tax debt. Talk with one of their strategists today. It's free. Stop the threatening letters. Stop looking over your shoulder and protect yourself from property seizures and bank levies. Don't let the IRS control your future. Call 1-800-905-8000 or visit tnusa.com/RAV. April 15th is just around the corner. Act now, before the IRS acts first. All right, well, have you ever asked yourself why the left is so hell-bent on keeping violent gang members in America? Gang members who came here illegally, mind you. So aside from being the low-life thugs that they already are, they've also come into the country illegally, so they're criminals from the get-go. But these people aren't seeking asylum. They're gang members, no doubt unwanted in their own countries. These aren't children and women. These are men of fighting age, men who aren't arrested or interested in doing menial jobs. They're men of fighting age, and they're in America to do the very same thing they did to their own countries, to own the streets, to instill fear, to commit crimes. And hey, if a sanctuary city in the U.S. can throw in a couple of grand on a debit card and help pay their way, why the hell not? So ask yourself why. Why does the left want these dregs of their societies from other countries to be a part of ours so badly? This is what they want you to believe. They want you to paint removing evil people from the country as, well, somehow that's evil.
Is a constitutional crisis now officially upon us? From the invocation of an 18th century law that was the basis for some of the darkest chapters in America's history, things like the internment of Japanese Americans during World War II, now being used to deport hundreds of people, to the sudden removal of an immigrant doctor here legally. Both moves, seemingly, from what we know at this hour, at the time in open defiance of court orders.
People, she says, minor attractive persons, they say she, they say when it's really a he could just have a cold when they say it's dementia, Joe Biden. But we know why they do certain things, say certain things. Nicole Walz right there, just following marching orders. No longer any kind of real journalist with a real mind of her own. Nicole is just an MSNBC shill following marching orders and dispensing the lines demanded of her by the leftist propaganda machine. But why? Why is it that while Republicans are all about rescuing astronauts and Hamas-held hostages, Democrats are wholly interested in rescuing illegal migrants who are also violent criminals from being deported from America?
What's happened today with the Alien Enemies Act, 1700s, and the deportation, and just the beginning. I mean, this, to me, of all the things that has happened during the Trump administration, the notion that you can completely disregard the federal court and literally challenge the court just blatantly in contempt of court. I mean, that's the cornerstone of this constitutional democracy.
Interesting, isn't it, how suddenly the lefties pretend they know what the Constitution really is? Also not really interested in judgment from the guy who cleaned up his streets Gavin Newsom cleaned up his streets for a few minutes only to appease his rightful boss, China's Xi Jinping, but I digress. And on the note of ignoring a judge's orders, I'll just leave this right here.
By the time the other order came, the plane was already over international waters with a plane full of terrorists and significant public safety threats. And, you know, to turn a plane around over international waters, we're going to refuel over international waters, come back and bring terrorists back to the United States. That's not what this president promised American people. What the president did was exactly the right thing.
Well, the media is telling you that Trump is acting illegally by deporting non-citizen members of Venezuela's Tren de Aragua terrorist gang pursuant to the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. The media, owned by the leftist propaganda machine, will tell you that President Trump's action is illegal because this law is only effective in wartime, which already tells you that the left doesn't see an invasion of America and our sovereignty by criminals who wish to do harm to Americans as a war, which it is. And our president has declared it so. The media supports a false narrative by pointing out that the law has only been invoked in the past during declared wars, such as the War of 1812, World War I, and also World War II. The progressive propaganda media also points to the first part of the act, which says, quoting, whenever there is a declared war between the United States and any foreign nation or government, ... Okay, so there's no declared war officially, so President Trump is acting illegally, right? No, wrong, because that act, let's go back to the actual act, goes on to say, and I'm quoting, or any invasion or predatory incursion is perpetrated, attempted, or threatened against the territory of the United States by any foreign nation or government. But wait, the media says Tren de Aragua is not actually an arm of the Venezuelan government. Wrong again. As President Trump points out in a high level of detail, by the way, in his executive order, Over the years, Venezuelan national and local authorities have ceded ever greater control over their territories to transnational criminal organizations, including TDA, Tren de Aragua. The result is a hybrid criminal state that is perpetrating an invasion of and predatory incursion into the United States, and which poses a substantial danger to the United States. So, Tren de Aragua is a narco-terrorist arm of the Venezuelan government. Very simple. Very clear. And as such, President Trump is fully justified and is acting with full legal authority in forcibly deporting terrorist members of TDA. The plain language of the Alien Enemies Act is available online. You don't need to be a lawyer to understand it. You just need to go there and read it, which anyone on MSNBC should probably do, because again, their talking points and clear marching orders are the only reading they seem to do. But it doesn't matter, because the brother-loving congressional member from the state of Somalia, Ilhan Omar, wants Americans to believe that defending your nation against invaders is somehow un-American.
It is hard to imagine anything more un-American than that. The Trump administration's immigration policy is a threat to immigrants like criminals. America is too great to fall prey to Donald Trump's anti-immigrant agenda.
Please go back to Somalia, Ilhan. Ilhan Omar hates this country. We already knew that. Ilhan hates Americans, but absolutely adores terrorists.
CARE was founded after 9/11. Because they recognized that some people did something.
By the way, this is how Ilhan Omar defends those disgusting comments she just made.
So what I was speaking to was the fact that as a Muslim, not only was I suffering as an American who was attacked on that day, but the next day I woke up as my fellow Americans were now treating me as suspect.
Oh, I had this wonderful awakening the next day. So essentially all you really need to know is this, and I'm not going to go sugarcoat it. I'm not going to go PR wash what I'm saying. This is binary, one or the other. There are no gray areas in the middle, in between. If you're against the deportation of those who come to this country illegally, if you're against the deportation of those who wish to harm even a single American, gang member or not, then you, Ilhan Omar, you Democrats, you, all of you, then you're not American. You don't belong here either. You hate this country. You're against this country. You're therefore an enemy and traitor of this country. No sugarcoating, only the truth. That's what we do here. Truth bombs. We as Americans and as a country are in the fight of our lives. There are those within this country right now who openly wish for the death of our country, and our president is here to defend Americans against that threat. I know that this country forgot what actually it is for and what we stand for long, disastrous, and disgusting years of Biden. But here it is, plain and simple. Ilhan Omar, AOC, Margaret Brennan, Rachel Maddow, the nutjob Nicole Wallace, every single member of the Democrat Party, the media, lefty media, these people hate this country and want our demise. They report to George Soros, to Barack Obama, to Hillary freaking Clinton, who left Americans to die in Benghazi, which we are about to find out more about thanks to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. If you're an Obama-appointed judge who stops the deportation of those criminals, you are owned by any all of the above. You're not an American. You're the enemy of the state, and therefore should be investigated, tried, impeached, maybe even jailed. Yes, Mr. President, we're in a wartime, and we support you using any and every single legislative and appointed power to defend us. Full stop. We'll be right back with Bannon.
Tired of the hassle and high costs of selling a home? We can help. At Ideal Agent, we'll connect you with a top local agent that'll sell your home fast for top dollar, and all this for as low as a 2% commission.
We got the top dollar for our house and the lowest commission that I could have imagined. The house sold in 2 days. It was so exciting for us.
Ideal Agent is available nationwide. There's no obligation, and best of all, our service is completely free. Call today or visit idealagent.com.
I made millions stealing homes before I went to prison. And if your home's title is unprotected, it's only a matter of time before a criminal like the old me targets you. Your home's title is wide open online, just waiting to be stolen. All it takes is a forged signature, a notary stamp you can buy online, and a few minutes at the recorder's office. Suddenly, your title is gone. They'll sell your home, take out loans, and drain your equity, leaving you with the mess. That's why I tell everyone about Home Title Lock.
Their exclusive $1 million triple lock protection gives you 24/7 monitoring, urgent alerts for any changes, and if fraud happens, their U.S.-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix it and restore your title at no additional cost. Find out if you're already a victim. Go to HomeTitleLock.com. You'll receive a free title history report and access to your personal title expert, a $250 value just for signing up. That's HomeTitleLock.com.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America. And get this, did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
Big sky. Look at that. Still snow out there. What do I know? I'm sitting here in beautiful West Palm Beach, Florida. It's like 77 degrees. And by the way, the boat show is here in Palm Beach. Wow, what an incredible time to be in South Florida. All right, let's bring in our good friend Steve Bannon. Love to have this. You know what, Steve? This is literally my favorite time of the day. I don't know about you, because we can talk about so much fun stuff. I got to do this because you're, I think, maybe the third guest or so of all time on Newsom's podcast. You know, Charlie was there, but this is the one that got me. And this is a soundbite from Tampon Timmy Walz, who thinks he can take us. Listen.
How do you fight it?
This
I think I could kick most of their ass. I do think that if they wanted to. I know I can run them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
And so, Steve, I threw the challenge back at them. Bolling and Bannon. He said WWE, so Bolling and Bannon against Newsom and Timmy Walz. You game?
Dude, I'll hold. All I have to do is hold your beer. I'll let the pirate captain go at it. They're not going to get in the ring with you. You look like a one of those fighters. You do. I got to say something before we do the transition. That was one of the most extraordinary rants I've ever heard. You hit every important point. I think it was an amazing summary of where we are as a movement, a country, and the opposition, and you called them out right there, Eric. So good on you. It was just fantastic.
It gets me fired up.
I'm going to try to play. I'm going to try to carve out 9 minutes in the 6 o'clock show, maybe towards the end, to actually play it in its entirety.
Well, I'll come back sometime, down the road, and I'll deliver it live. We could do it like one of those, poetic readings where we could take it. I'll come and just deliver it right to Steve. We'll have some fun. Can we give you one more?
Hold on. So hang on. Hang on. You're all worked up on Tim Walz. Tim Walz got to you today.
He pissed me off.
You got to go pretty far in the woods to hit your trigger.
Well, here's a guy who he can't load a shotgun. He claims to be a hunter, can't load a shotgun. Claims to be a football coach, doesn't even know some of the basic scoring rules of college football. He's all and then to say he's going to kick MAGA's ass, bring it on. I'm like, okay, so he gets play, but does he really want that? And by the way, who gets Newsom? If you and I cage fight those two, who gets Newsom? You got Walz, I get Newsom, because I don't. Or you want Newsom?
I think you have to take Newsom because he's got those hand moves that I can't figure out yet. I can't figure out what is hand moves. You take Newsom, I'll take Walz. I have no idea.
Alec Baldwin, who just horrible human being, took shots at you when you were, senior advisor to Trump first time. Very quickly, can we roll? This is what he's got to live with. Listen.
He
Ilaria show.
No. I think we're gonna see. You know, we're gonna see how it feels to have it be out there.
It's gonna be great.
You're
a winner.
Oh my God! When I'm talking, you're not talking.
Sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why. Yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show.
So, he's it's his penance right there.
It's a time in hell. Well, he was trying to be complimentary, I think. Wasn't he trying to have her back?
She's a little wacky. Steve, remember she pretended to be Hispanic. She couldn't pronounce cucumber. How you say cucumber? And then it turns out she was born and raised in Boston, Massachusetts. I hand it to you, my friend. The show is all yours.
Yeah. Thank you. Eric Bolling, great rant. We're going to try to play that in 6 o'clock hour. Fantastic. Is the protest still going on? Let's go, before we go to the cold open, let's go outside of Trump Tower. There's another one of these protests taking place right now. Hopefully they have barricaded the doors and not going to let them in. The other day, as you remember, absolute catastrophe of letting these folks in. The beautiful atrium of Trump Tower, that's right there on 5th Avenue. Of course, the residence is right next door, so I hope New York authorities. I'm just saying, we're seeing what's happening here. This thing's starting to metastasize. We're only in March. You would think Columbia and NYU and Barnard and these schools would be on top of this, but clearly they're not. Okay, we have an extraordinary cold open. There's something going on to the MAGA movement we have to address. We've asked a very special guest to be with us right after the cold open. Let's go ahead and let it rip.
Put your hands up. Can I just record this? All right, I assure you, this is a non-starter, gentlemen.
The collar of your shirt from the back. Hey, I got top side. You ain't need that front door. Keep your shirt up like that and rotate slowly.
You want me to take my shirt?
Hands up.
I have nothing. You want me to take my shirt?
The collar of your shirt from the top. Pull up. Rotate. 360.
The investigation continues into the murder of InfoWars writer Jamie White. Police over in Austin, Texas, saying that White was shot and killed when he interrupted thieves who appeared to be trying to break into his car. As of the last update from police, no suspects have been identified or taken into custody. And I do want to pop this up on your screen here, as we did actually hear from InfoWars founder Alex Jones. He posted this on social media saying that Jamie was, quote unquote, brutally murdered. And this is a portion of that statement. He said, quote, "We pledge that Jamie's tragic death will not be in vain, and those responsible for this senseless violence will be brought to justice. Jamie's important work will be carried on through InfoWars, our readers, and our cherished listeners." Friends and family, of course, mourning White right now and taking time to remember him.
We have a great security company here, and the head of it has been in the Marines, the Army, smart guy, and he knows all the police procedures. He used to be on the Austin Police Department when he was younger. And he just called up during the break and said, this is gross negligence by the APD and the FBI. The fact that a whole bunch of the crew has been swatted, that we're getting death threats, that all of this is going on, the fact that they've not reached out to us and asked to meet with us, and asked to help put us in their database, which they have for addresses, is terrible. And like when they swatted Chase during the day last Tuesday, or was it Wednesday? Well, have been here in a minute. And then I said, watch out, they're coming back tonight. So he got his family out, and they came back again. And so, and you're getting another visit. How the Austin police, I'm not trying to be mean to them, but come on. 10 hours after they SWAT Chase guys, they're back, guns drawn, all of it, the same crap again. So come on, guys. Come on. Do you like to just put on the gear and go do that? I don't think so. They're not communicating with each other. It's stupid, and it's dangerous for you. Some of these cops may not care about us. I think it's fun to point guns at Owen and people. I'm not saying most of you, but I mean, this is out of, you are pointing guns at us here. It's one thing to come do it, and then you're back 10 hours later and do it. And they're back tonight, dude. I mean, I'd say about a 90% chance you're getting guns pointed at you again. You got to put a big-ass sign, I just got swatted. And that's what a lot of folks are doing on their doors. I'll just leave it at that. You got to have a sign in your front yard. I'm a swatting victim. I mean, maybe put a damn neon sign. I'm serious, a neon sign up. Like, I get swatted. I'm not a Satanist, so I get swatted. I mean, it's where we are. So I'm going to get this message, the Austin Police Department. I understand you've had your funding cut and all the rest of it. So by Soros and his people, how do you have all the resources for this, but not for much of the city? It looks like a war zone. Owen Schroyer, recap what happened to you, because we're going to put this report out to the Austin Police Department from our police expert who says gross negligence by you guys. I mean, I understand we're not Black Lives Matter or some commie group that you guys run around behind. They snap, you jump because they're going to sue you. We're not trying to sue you or anything. We don't want him dead or Chase dead or other crew members dead or me dead or you dead.
This is the primal scream of a dying regime. Pray for our enemies, because we're going medieval on these people. You're just not got a free shot on all these networks lying about the people. The people have had a belly full of it. I know you don't like hearing that. I know you try to do everything in the world to stop that, but you're not going to stop it. It's going to happen.
And where do people like that go to share the big lie? MAGA media. I wish in my soul, I wish that any of these people had a conscience.
Ask yourself, what is my task and what is my purpose? If that answer is to save my country, this country will be saved.
War Room. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
It's Wednesday, 19 March in the year of our Lord 2025. We're going to go to the White House shortly with our own Natalie Winters. We also have Laura Loomer on tonight, Julie Kelly. So we're coming in with guns blazing. I want to start with Alex Jones. Alex, this it's been nationwide against MAGA leaders, against folks in the media. They seem to have focused on InfoWars and you. You've already had the murder in cold blood of your producer. You just then had one of your top hosts swatted. They've come after you nonstop. What in the hell's going on, and what is being done about it, sir?
Well, that's a great question. Jamie White was killed 10 days ago on Sunday evening after he left the studio here back to his house, one shot at the carotid artery. The police say they don't know who did it, but they think it was a robbery gone bad with no evidence. Jamie was on the Ukraine hit list along with everybody else that's prominent that's been swatted. And then Chase Geiser got swatted twice last week, another one of our co-hosts and producers. Owen Schroyer, our other main anchor, he got swatted about midnight last night. And the police, oh, yeah, we know Owen. Okay, Owen, still turn around, put your hands up, take your shirt off. And then another one of my hosts got swatted, but he doesn't want to talk about it. That's his prerogative. And his other people have been swatted. Their families have been swatted in another city. The police, they didn't wake up, so the police broke in their house with their guns last night. And then a lot of other talk show hosts I know are being swatted, but they don't want to go public. Hosts that don't work here, but other hosts. So this is much bigger than even we're seeing, and it's massive. And then before they send the police to you, and then after they send a pizza because then they can call back when the people refuse it or whatever and get intel. And so they've sent pizzas before and after. Owen got a pizza delivered right when my show was beginning today when he was on with me at 11 a.m. Central. He got camera footage of that from his cameras at his house. We showed that. Last time I checked, he was going to the pizza place to try to get the notes or who called with it. Because the police, I guess, other resources do that or whatever. And so all that's happening. And on these pizza receipts all over the country, we've been publishing them. They say that this is a message from Jamie White. So they're not only sending police trying to get us killed. This is literally attempted capital murder, premeditated, literal terrorism, all part of the Democrat escalated terror campaign, like we see with Tesla, and then putting out a big website with targeting Tesla owners with secret data they got, and a Molotov cocktail is the symbol of the cursor that you move around, obviously saying burn people down. You got Jimmy Kimmel saying, oh, please don't attack their cars, and then laughing and everybody giggling, very thinly veiled. You got The View saying, Trump's killing people, not saying who he's killing last week, and then saying, well, we got to fight and die to stop him. They've got all their people saying this. They're trying to escalate, as you just were saying earlier, into the summer. That's John Podesta and Carville, and all of their talking point is that violence is the answer, and that when Trump tries to resist it legally with the Insurrection Act, that he's a dictator. Last year, the Hollywood movie Civil War is a fantasy about this, and we know in August 2000, the New York Times reported a war game with Podesta even planning blue state secession, blue city secession, and quote, Civil War. Raskin said 2 months before Trump won, if he wins, we're going to go to Civil War conditions. And so they're ramping all this up right now. And really, I said this on my show Monday. I said, I'm not trying to say this with pleasure. Only Steve Bannon, General Flynn, and myself that I'm seeing, I'm sure others are saying it with big shows. We have the biggest shows. We're the only ones saying it. And I really want the White House to call this out. I really want Stephen Miller, who's very eloquent, to understand that they've said this is the plan. They've got big Democrat preachers in Tennessee saying Trump's killing people on Social Security. Jesus says kill them. That was a month ago. He hasn't been arrested there in Chattanooga. And there's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of examples of all. And then you got, Tim Walz, oh, I'll beat people up. He's saying that it's like it's a joke, but it's all part of the background of them promoting this. Now they're saying, AOC and Maxine Waters, that, Trump wants a civil war. No, they're the ones in their own Democrat top strategy documents that if Trump could have stopped the Steele in 2020, in August, they said, we're going to civil war. Then they said, again, we're going back to that plan. And so they're not giving up. We're dismantling them. We're cutting off their funding. We're winning, not just here, but worldwide, the populist movement. But this is it. And people have to understand that it is happening. And on top of all that, I was asked by law enforcement who is on it to not report on what happened last week, because we don't want them to know the specifics that we know. But we've had major other just over-the-top cyber attacks, all sorts of serious attempts at infiltration. I don't have a lot of money like I used to. Doesn't matter. I've had to get, again, 24-hour security because I've got guns at my house and a gate and all that, but I've had to go 24-hour again. And they're trying to intimidate my crew. They're trying to intimidate their families, but it's made them stronger than ever. And again, they're making jokes about Jamie White with the pizza deliveries to the people that have been swatted, saying this is a message from Jamie White. So that these people are beyond demented and sick, and their reign of terror is coming to an end. As you said, this is the last gasp of these people. They're done. They'll never be back in power. They may be able to hold on here and there, but their cult, their movement is over. They're just refusing to face that, or they want to claw us into their graves.
We've got about 90 seconds. I want to hold you through the break, Alex, because I want to get into some more detail. But just real quickly, give me a minute. How dangerous is this activity called swatting? For the audience may not understand it. They want to lead to assassinations of people, do they not?
Yes, and people keep asking, why don't the police do anything or stop them? They can spoof the numbers. It's happened to me, before, where I think someone's calling me, it's the right number. And then at one time it was even AI with the fake Tucker Carlson. People were calling him. That hit the news last year. You're trying to get us to fight with each other. That's benign compared to this. It was a Canadian comedy group out of Canada doing that. But with these databases, you can get people's numbers, even famous people. You can then have AI with messages. That's nothing. It's all coming out of a spoofed California number that then police have told us from other cases. And then it spoofs as the person's number. In the case of Owen, Chase Geiser, Joe Pags, all these other people that are happening here in Texas, and my other crew, they call the police. It looks like the person's number. They check. And in the Chase Geiser's case, they said, I'm Chase Geiser. InfoWars reporter. I am here at my house. My wife and 2 young daughters are tied up. I'm going to murder them. I'm going to kill them right now. And that was the second swatting. He'd already got them out of the house. They'd come in the day, but no one was there. Wow. So, and so it's the same with Owen, the same in all the cases. They call and say, I'm going to murder people. In the case last night, they said that, I'm Owen Schroyer. I just shot somebody in my house. And then here they come. So they're trying to get people killed. That's the admitted plan.
Yeah. Alex, hang on 1 second. We're going to take a short commercial break. Alex Jones on the other side of the rising violence of the radical left against MAGA. Next.
America has the greatest economy in the world, but I think most of us would agree we have a problem. The cost of almost everything is up. Home prices, rent, food, insurance. Every sector has taken a hit, including automotive. More Americans are keeping their cars for longer, including me. And one way that we can make life more affordable is CarShield, America's #1 auto protection company.
CarShield's rated A+ with the Better Business Bureau and named America's most trusted auto protection company.
With CarShield, drivers could save thousands on covered parts and systems like your engine, transmission, entertainment system, and more. It's the protection that I trust, just like these other happy customers.
With CarShield, saving the $2,700 has been a real blessing. I love CarShield. It is my lifeline.
Our life as nurses, we just step up and we help people, and it's really nice when somebody steps up and helped us. If our car breaks down, CarShield administrators have our back.
If your car's out of warranty, it's not a matter of if it'll break down, but when. Call CarShield before it's too late and protect yourself from expensive car repairs.
CarShield is ready to help year-round nationwide with thousands of vetted shops to choose from, or their concierge service to help you find a mechanic near you. Unlike other companies, they don't just send you to the cheapest place in town. I trust CarShield, and so should you.
I have filed a total of over 5 claims, and my price from when I signed up never went up. And with the age of my car, that is security.
CarShield is a U.S. company supporting hardworking Americans save over $1 billion in expensive auto repair costs. More of us are keeping our cars for longer, so give CarShield a call now before a breakdown happens. Call now.
Call CarShield now before a breakdown and see how they're saving drivers money on covered auto repairs. Call 800-635-5126. 800-635-5126.
If anyone has told you that gaining weight, feeling tired, and joint issues is just a part of getting older, they are wrong. My name is Dr. Stephen Gundry, and I found a new way to support my health. It's called BioComplete 3. BioComplete 3 works by restoring your gut health from the inside out. This is working for everybody.
I was 270. I'm now 140. It just feels amazing.
You can try BioComplete 3 risk-free for 90 days. Go to guthealthsecret.com.
Hi, Chef Daniel Green here with Rice Robot, the 1, 2, 3 rice cooker. Watch, 1 add the white cup for rice, 2 add the blue cup for water, 3 click it and let Rice Robot perfectly cook it.
The secret is perfect cook technology for even cooking. Then Rice Robot senses when it's done, auto stops and keeps it warm to serve.
It won't burn, overcook or undercook, guaranteed.
Get the complete Rice Robot cooking system, all for just $39.99. Order now.
Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Hey, Alex, and we're going to play some B-roll as you talk. You know, we've been swatted, I think, in the summer of 23 multiple times in different ways, from police, SWAT teams, fire, everything. But it was kind of old. It was kind of old school compared to what you're talking about. You're talking about something totally different at a very different and more dangerous level.
Yeah, but
so
I was
walk us
going to tell
back
you
through
real
that for a
quick.
second so people fully understand it.
Sure. Are we back live right now?
Yes, sir. We're live.
Okay, great. It's all blurred. Oh, sorry, Steve. You're awesome. Yeah, there's a lot
okay.
I can't tell you about some of the new stuff because the separate cyber stuff is so sophisticated, but it's nation state type stuff where people take over computers in live time and then spoof as if there's somebody else to just engage in incredible stuff. So from our sources in General Flynn and others, this is nation state stuff. Obviously, NATO allied with Obama and Keir Starmer running their resistance to Trump and America and trying to keep World War III going out of the UK and out of NATO. And then almost everybody being swatted is on this Ukraine enemies list. Like we haven't found anybody yet that wasn't. And so what happens is, we've talked to multiple jurisdictions, not just in our case, but others, and some of this has come out in the news, that the police are like, look, they spoof the phone number, and then when we check it, it's the accurate number, and so they're able to call in and fake your number, or fake your home number, or fake your wife's number, and then they say always basically the same thing, that whoever the main target is, the famous person, has killed their wife or killed their kids or has hostages, or they've stabbed someone inside the house, or they just shot someone inside the house is going to kill more people, and so the police have to go in there, regardless. And yes, so it's much more sophisticated. And then when Jamie got killed 10 days ago, I went on air the next morning and said we have the worst Soros DA in the country. He recognizes that. I mean, people shoot people, innocent people, and then he lets them out of jail the next day. People defend themselves. He famously, throws them in prison if somebody aims a gun at them in their car. The veteran shoots them. They threw that famous Army sergeant in jail. The governor had to pardon him. So I was at first saying, looks like the high crime, looks like it's, probably going to be the Soros DA and them letting all these criminals out of jail. And then I got calls from a major, very famous journalist that you know well, and her high-level sources, because, she's been connected to those agencies, was that there was an actual chatter NSA level, 3 hits that the CIA called her, good guys in there. So we'd never seen this on a civilian before. It's the highest level open hit. Then Flynn calls me the next morning, last Tuesday morning, and says, look, I talked to high-level people. I spent an hour on this. I checked it. It's you and some other prominent people, with some very prominent people. We know who they are. Crazy enough to be on the phone talking about having you killed and others killed. They're so arrogant. They're so crazy. He came on my show and repeated all that. We know he doesn't make stuff up either. Very credible. Former head of the Defense Intelligence Agency. Not to mention top national security advisor to Trump when you guys first got in, and one of the main targets, along with you, of the deep state. And so he said, you need to be really, 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 really careful. And so then all the swatting started. Now they're sending Jamie White's name on the pizza receipts to people's houses after they get swatted. And so, if they were going to kill Jamie, they try to make it look like a robbery gone bad. But they just say people are breaking in his car. He walks up to it. There's 2 men. Is what the police have said is on the surveillance camera. And then they shoot him through the neck. And then now it's been 10 days and nothing's happened. And so really the consensus is we would be fools not to say that this couldn't be Ukraine. I mean, we know this big leftist with 6 cell phones and recruiting hundreds of people with all these CIA connections and leftist connections was in Ukraine there. Then he comes to Mar-a-Lago to kill Trump. We've heard zero about that since then. Trump said he was ordering the files released 2 weeks ago. It hasn't happened yet. He said next week I'm ordering them to be released 2 weeks ago, so that's a week late. Trump ordered the JFK files fully released. We now know 1/3 of the last files were not released. That's confirmed. So Trump's doing a great job, but we voted him as the captain of the ship. But half the crew, at least, is mutinous. I mean, half of them wouldn't even answer the Doge email, as you know. So I don't blame Trump. I don't blame Cash or Pam Bondi or any of them. They have people that are stonewalling them and that are sabotaging everything that now makes them accomplices to all the theft and all the criminality and everything we're seeing. But I do think we need major indictments on the low-hanging fruit of these different agency heads and people that we know got money illegally, like the ICE head that recently got indicted last week, where it's cut and dry. We need to see a lot of this to let the minions of the system know they've lost and that a lot more is coming very, very quickly. And I understand with due process, we're not tyrants, that it takes 3-4 months, even at light speed. Well, we have to have that now. And so, or the left is sending a message to all their people. Look, we can burn up Tesla dealerships. We can attack people in their cars. Jimmy Kimmel's, basically saying, please don't attack and vandalize. Please don't hurt people. Ha, ha, ha. And everybody laughs. I mean, they're getting themselves really wound up to make a move on us to force Trump to call troops out. Then they're going to really activate their Black Lives Matter, their Hezbollah, their Hamas that they're working with, that they financed, and their Antifa that Alexander Soros has come out in documents runs. And so I think we need to nip this in the bud right now strategically. The number one thing is they got Al Capone on income tax because it took too long to get him on the other stuff, and he killed all the witnesses. That's fine. Get Soros and Brennan and all of them on all the low-hanging fruit. I mean, in India, they just raided 8 offices of Soros for all sorts of illegal money operations in the country. Get them how you can get them. Get them now. Indict them. This is war. This is existential threat. And that's why they want you off the air and me off the air, because we're saying this. They've brought us into a zone where it's not about retribution. It's not about payback. It's about survival. America knows it. There's a mandate. This isn't lawfare like on their case. They started it. They drew first blood. They've committed all these crimes, $375 billion stolen by Podesta when he was made the head of the Green New Deal funds and all the rest of that crap, $20 billion in secret bank accounts with not even a receipt or who got it. Indict Podesta now. He's the war chief with these other top Democrat lawyers literally planning the civil war for this summer. It's synthetic. It's false. They want to make it racially based. They keep saying Homan and Trump are going to kill a migrant protesting. No, an illegal alien protest. No, they're planning a false flag where they'll kill a MAGA guy. He'll have his red hat, his manifesto any time now. But I agree with you. They want to crash the economy first. The globalists are flooding money into Europe out of the United States at a record level. Trump's desperately trying to get investment back in, doing a great job, lowering prices already on eggs and fuel. But we need to all be maximum behind Trump, absolutely backing him, and understand that this is it. And we just won the strategic battle. We just won the Trenton battle, and we're starting to turn the tide. But it's perseverance, and we've expanded our beachhead and are winning, and the enemy has been routed, but they're rallying for their major Battle of the Bulge counteroffensive. So this is it.
We've got about 3.5 minutes, and I want to go back to you and just give you the floor. You're requesting President Trump. This is getting more dangerous. You're absolutely correct. They're ratcheting up. You just started with footage outside of Trump Tower again. Another protest is going to lead to something. They're trying to get inside that atrium. What are you requesting of the President of the United States and the Attorney General? What is the action plan that Alex Jones says we should implement immediately, sir?
Well, as you know, the CIA since 1947 has been its own operation system for corrupt elements. It became the globalist system. It's the heart of it. They're experts at overthrowing countries and color revolutions. So Podesta in the New York Times, it's all war gamed. Back in 2020, if Trump ever got back in, what they would do, they're just getting their forces wound up and heated up and in place and testing them. So the police, the military just get used to all these protests and violence and escalation as they titrate the dose. But then when they have the illegal aliens mowed down or a black church bombed and it's blamed on Trump supporter, that's the activation. Then these Hezbollah, Hamas, Black Lives Matter, Antifa folks are going to storm Trump towers. They're going to storm government buildings. They're going to burn a bunch of stuff down. And then when Trump calls out the military, they're hoping that'll crash the market and create such fear that Trump can be stampeded out of office. That's their admitted public plan. And so folks have to understand this must be gone after now. And obviously they want people just to arrest the protesters. No, they have the right to that. You don't do that. It's money laundering. They're all being funded with stolen money out of USAID and the other programs in the State Department. And of course, the big ones, the EPA and others. And so there's no more time to play games and start at the bottom, work your way up. We have more than enough on the kingpins, and the top dozen or so Democratic lawyers and people like Podesta. They must be indicted yesterday. It must happen now. We know Brennan is a ringleader. It's not enough to pull their security clearances. It's not enough to call them crooks because the media just blacked out Trump's incredible speech at the Justice Department. You didn't really see his powerful statements anywhere. They just show clips of him thanking people. Well, we watched it. We aired it. So did you. And Trump knows this. So everybody has to understand, if we don't stop them now, if we don't strategically take out their leadership legally and lawfully, now, with indictments, if we don't roll them up, they are hyping their operations up, and they're going to do it. They're going to make their move. And so I've been honest with the crew. I said, hey, just be tough. We'll get you hotels. You're going to get swatted again. Whatever we got to do, we've got to stay in place. They're trying to distract Trump and his forces that are limited onto the swattings, onto the Tesla burnings before they make their big moves. Sure, we got to get some people indicted that have done that. The funding mechanisms is the place to go. Doesn't matter you arrest the zombies. They'll just, Soros DAs will let them out. Sure, still arrest them. But we've got to understand big picture here. And yes, people need to see some victories. Indict the swatters, find out who's doing it. And, indict the leaders of the protest groups that are calling it protests, burning down Tesla things. That's all important. But that's all probing attacks and distraction attacks from the big one when the false flag against an illegal alien demonstration happens. And I'm predicting is going to happen in the next 3 months.
Alex, where do people go to get the show? Where do they get your social media? Where do they get all of it, sir?
Well, Real Alex Jones on X, and they hacked that and took it down last week. So you can always find our backups at Infowars.com/show, band.video. And again, we want everybody to watch the show, share the show, just like they do yours. Take links. The show belongs to everybody. And just understand, folks, that I'm not trying to scare people. I'm telling you exactly from history and the enemy battle plans, what they're planning. There's nothing more frustrating than them bragging and admitting. And I mean, Podesta's own war games and all of it are criminal. They are a conspiracy to overthrow the Republic and the voters. And so we must act against the treason.
The field commander, Alex Jones, giving it to you with the bark on. Alex, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, a man with a lot of wisdom and a lot of battle scars. Short break to the White House with Natalie Winters.
Hello, this is Mike Huckabee. President Trump said he wants to take back the White House and teach our kids to love our country. That's why my team created a kids guide to President Trump. It'll teach your kids all about President Trump's accomplishments and his vision for America. And right now, I want to give it to you for free as part of this free gift bundle.
Order your free kids guide to President Trump, get a free bonus guide, and a free membership to AMAC featuring dozens of money-saving benefits at kidsneedtrump.com. That's kidsneedtrump.com.
The FBI calls it house stealing, the latest scam where a cyber thief transfers the title of your home out of your name and steals your hard-earned equity.
It's roughly 60 to 90 days for that person to even figure out that they're the victim of this crime. You start getting foreclosure notices and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house that you didn't even know existed.
Unfortunately, it's on you to protect yourself. You might already be a victim. Check your title status now at HomeTitleLock.com.
When the kids turn unholy, Harrelson's Own keeps my patience divine.
When work flies out of control, Harrelson's Own keeps me cool as a cucumber.
The device madness never ends, but Harrelson's Own keeps me zen.
Life can be chaotic, but Harrelson's Own CBD helps keep you calm through any storm. Harrelson's Own consistently delivers your full mind and body homeostasis. It's an organic, full-spectrum CBD in a refreshing oral spray. Our nano-emulsified technology makes it completely water-soluble, so your body absorbs it immediately. You'll start to feel it in seconds, not 60 minutes. It just makes everything feel better.
And it helps me just take the edge off. It helps me relax. It helps me be there with my kids.
I swear I'm like a mental ninja. Like nothing can throw me off balance.
No matter how many things come at me, I'm like, boom, handled, next. I'm like crushing it all day long.
Well, some people take it for a release from stress. Some take it to get rid of pain. Others just take it for general well-being. For me, Brett Harrelson, it just makes everything about my day a little better.
Give your life a boost.
It's just the best you've ever felt in your natural state.
My happiness in a bottle is the best.
So to sum it all up, you're going to feel the benefits quickly, love the way it feels, and like the way it tastes. Pay a fair price, and you're going to thank us for it. We are so confident you're going to be satisfied that we back every bottle with a 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. Give Harrelson's Own a try, from our family to yours. Go to HO.com to order Harrelson's Own now. Yep, it's that easy. Just our initials, HO.com.
Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Okay, for an update, Beryl Howe has just denied Doja's ability to work with the administration as an advisor and shut down the Institute for Peace. Julie Kelly would join us right after Natalie Winters to discuss. Natalie, I've got a different, some things are in place, some cold opens with you on some other media hits, and then I've got some other stuff to ask you about the White House and what's going on. But I've got to bring you into this conversation with Alex Jones. You've done more than probably any investigator, researcher, particularly President Trump's second term, of what's going on at this color revolution. Alex Jones is just saying, hey, it's being kicked in now to almost a battle plan. It's going to escalate in violence. You can see from Tesla dealerships to President Trump's, the lobby of Trump Tower, to the swatting, what's going on. What are your thoughts and observations, man?
Well, it's essentially turned into kinetic warfare, right? I think that's the best way that you can describe it. And when you look at what they tried to do, not just to President Trump, but to people like you, the MAGA movement, our audience more broadly these last 4 years, because they had the power of the state, right? Because they could wage weaponized lawfare against the American people, that was their preferred method, their preferred tactic. But I think this is sort of confirmation that they did indeed weaponize the government. And now the fact that they don't have the apparatus of the state to attack MAGA, they're now going about it by using these sort of what they would refer to as outside the system tactics, right? They're refusing to comply by escalating with, let's be very clear, violent protests, right? This is not civil disobedience. This is not nonviolent actions. So because they can't deregulate us anymore or censor us or use lawfare or throw us in prison, what do they do now? They're burning down the Tesla dealerships. They're attacking Teslas. They're swatting conservative influencers. It's all about intimidation, right? They want to keep us silent. They want to keep us in fear. And they used to have the power of the state to do so, right? But now they don't. So they're panicking. And this is where you can sort of backtrack into the color revolution theory with the three key pillars, one of them being the lawfare, one of them being the impeachment, kind of the artificially impeaching without, like we saw with President Trump in his first term. Then you also have the mass mobilizations, the street protests, which is what you're seeing, but really from an escalated lens, because that's all they have to push back, right? And you really can tell that they're sort of, I think, hemorrhaging not just support, but power, when you really see how the Trump administration has become maniacally focused on going after the Achilles heel, the financial underpinning of so many of this sort of dark money, left-wing apparatus type groups, right? George Soros is sort of the figurehead, but that's the tip of the iceberg on all of this. Like we were talking about, there's that huge New York Times story out today, kind of in meltdown over what the Trump administration is doing, not just with Act Blue, but the buried lead in that piece is what they're doing with Arabella Advisors, the kind of parent organization of 7 or so, what they call the Seven Sisters nonprofits that are funding and bankrolling all of this fake astroturfed opposition to President Trump. And I think the question sort of remains, if the American people actually supported the kind of world idea, the agenda of people like George Soros, these far-left billionaires, why do they have to, A, hide their money in these shadowy networks, these shadowy funds where their name is not associated with it, and why do they have to pay people to protest? We have a clip, if you want to play it, we can, from Rachel Maddow, but it shows you how these town halls where they now have the cardboard cutouts of members of Congress who they're saying are refusing to show up to these town halls. They're calling them out as chickens. They're wearing chicken suits because they won't show up. Well, this is the story that we broke last week, Steve, right? Indivisible, this group that has received millions of dollars from George Soros, offers a, quote, Musk or Us reimbursement program where they are paying Indivisible members, Indivisible groups to show up at these town halls and act like they really are opposing said Republican member of Congress over what they're doing with Doge. So much so, if you want to put the picture on screen, if you read the things that they'll reimburse you for, they'll reimburse them for the chicken suits that they want to have the people up on stage mocking their members of Congress, and they'll even reimburse them for the cardboard cutouts that Rachel Maddow literally highlighted on her show last night. You can choose if you want to be reimbursed via check, direct deposit, or a distributed fundraising account. It's all information warfare. This is not organic. It's all astroturfed.
Hang on. Let's play the Rachel Maddow clip, and I'll bring you right back. Let's go ahead and play it, Denver.
Up in Colorado Springs, Colorado, Congressman Jeff Crank was made into a cardboard cutout. They had this one standing up by a microphone. They had this little one that they propped up on what I think was a little can of Folgers, maybe. Look at this. Hundreds of his constituents in Colorado Springs turned up to protest against Jeff Crank not standing up to Trump and refusing to meet with him about it. Look at this. This was also yesterday. Greensboro, North Carolina. 1,000 people turned up for a Republican U.S. Senator Tom Tillis town hall, at which Tom Tillis was represented by an empty chair. 1,000 people there in North Carolina mocking him for refusing to meet with them and for being too chicken to stand up to Trump on anything. And, you know, nobody likes to be mocked. It's never a nice feeling, even if you deserve it. It's a whole different level of difficult to deal with, though, when the people who are mocking you are a choir of little old ladies who are mocking you in song.
Where are you now? Where are you now? Could you be? Where could you be? Where are you now?
Greensboro, North Carolina constituents of Republican Tom Tillis, who can hold a tune for all the different ways that Donald Trump and his top campaign donor, defendant Elon Musk.
Why is, in the color revolution, explain to people one more time, why is this aspect of it absolutely critical that they have to continue? Rachel Maddow every night is doing something about this, ma'am.
Well, that was her monologue, right? They played, I had to clip it, 5-6 minutes of direct, raw footage of people at these town halls that, like I said, are being paid to protest. But I have read the Indivisible guidebook, their strategy. I watched their mobilization calls. And the number one thing that they tell their members to do when they're getting ready to plan these town hall events or whatever protest is to contact the media, to invite media representatives there. Because it's sort of a, I guess, symbiotic relationship whereby the Rachel Maddows of the world, the Norm Eisens of the world from the strategy side are really dependent on astroturfing this narrative that the American people are staunchly opposed, right, to what Doge is doing. Because you know why, Steve? Well, gee, if only the establishment, the Washington, D.C. elite, if only they were opposing President Trump's agenda by, I don't know, a judicial and legal insurrection that you could really only justify through extra-constitutional and outside of the system, sort of really not normalized, I would say, tactics, right? You're seeing these activist judges. In this last century, I believe it's 67% of all injunctions ordered have been against President Trump in his first term, 92% of them coming from Democrat judges. What they're engaging in, right, is a new iteration of lawfare. It's wholly, I mean, dare I say, illegal, right? It's unconstitutional. These people have extreme conflicts of interest, but it's this idea of outside the system change, right? They're using these alternative measures and metrics to go and attack President Donald J. Trump. So they have to create and foment the narrative that the American people really, really dislike what he's doing. And people might say, well, of course, that's what they're always trying to do. But you can't overestimate how clinical and tactical they are with the programming of really brainwashing and gaslighting the American people into thinking that these demonstrations are massive. These are paid protesters who just want to have their events reimbursed by some Soros-funded group. It's that simple, right? Has Rachel Maddow ever highlighted this audience? I don't think so, right? These are the same people who in one breath call for civility and we need to tone down the rhetoric and President Trump is so inflammatory. And their programs are nonstop, a 24/7 vamping and reel of crazy, deranged people calling for violent action. And I don't know, Steve, maybe I missed it. Have you seen any of these people condemn the swattings, talk about what happened to the InfoWars team? No, because they love that idea. They love the idea. That's why they love the assassination attempt on President Donald J. Trump, because it shows that he's woefully unpopular in their distorted view of the universe. And through that, they can try to artificially manipulate and architect this societal construct that is the American people do not support President Trump and do not support his agenda. I would just point you to the latest polling about the Democratic Party. There's only one party that's hemorrhaging support, and it's not the one that I'm standing on the White House lawn of the president who just won the election on behalf of that party.
In fact, they're so desperate, they're taking AOC and Bernie Sanders on essentially a college tour. They're going to go to various college towns, Tempe, Arizona, places like that, the way they can draw a crowd. And they're basically trying to pitch populism. They're trying to say, hey, it's families against the oligarchs. When they created the oligarchs are the guys that finance them. So they're trying to hide that behind this display of newfound populism. I want to discuss, we're going to play, when we get back from the break, we're going to play an extraordinary clip. And I want to tee it up right now because we're going to come right from the break and go right into the clip in about 4 minutes. But folks should understand is that one of the hardest things done in all media is what Natalie does every day at the White House, to stand up there and have it thrown cold. Natalie Winters is not reading off a screen. Every other broadcast TV and cable, when you go to those people, they actually have a monitor and they're reading something that somebody wrote for them, a writer back at the studio. Natalie Winters, it's right off the top of the head and from the heart. That's how smart she is, how well-trained she is, how dedicated she is, and just how she's part of this movement. The second hardest thing is to be on one of these shows when you got people jumping on you, tough questions, and you just had an extraordinary turn earlier today on one of the biggest shows in the world. Piers Morgan out of the United Kingdom. He was the big star for Murdoch. Now he's on YouTube. Set this up for us. Why were you there? Who are you on with? I don't want to give away what you said, but just set the stage, because we're going to go to break and we're going to come back right into it.
Well, that was very kind of you to say. I learned from the best, and someone, I think it was you, told me I'll never hire someone who works off a teleprompter. So I've taken that to my core. I've made that my motto. I was honored. You know, I love going on Piers Morgan. I love those debate panels because I'm always given the opportunity to call out people who otherwise just get away with going on legacy media and never have their reputations challenged, or I guess empirically when they debate me become tarnished. I had the, I guess, privilege, I don't know what I did to deserve it, but I think to be the first person to be able to directly call out face-to-face confronting the one and only Christopher Steele of Steele dossier fame, who thought it would be a good idea to come on a Piers Morgan panel. You can watch the clip you're about to play. It's obviously going extremely viral because, like I said, I think this is important. I mean, obviously the sound bites are fun, but people like him not just have gotten away with it, but have made millions of dollars off of intentionally deceiving and lying to the American people. Because you know why? The people that they're working with in collusion and propping them up are the ones who control the levers of power, though we were just explaining how they're in meltdown, that they're losing those levers of power. So if it takes shows like this, shows like InfoWars, some of the other new media outlets in here to call these people out, well, we'll do our sort of own color revolution tactics of our own, and we'll smear the reputations of people whose reputations deserve to be smeared. I'd put Anthony Fauci in that category, Peter Daszak, Victoria Nuland, all these people who not just get away with it, but make millions of dollars off of it.
Natalie, it's just extraordinary. We're going to go to a short commercial break. We're going to come back and show the entire thing. It's about 4 minutes, and it's quite intense. Short commercial break. Back in the war room with our own Natalie Winters at the White House in just a moment.
Spread the word all through Hong Kong. We will fight till they're all gone. We rejoice when there's no more. Let's take down the CCP.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
Wounded Warrior Project empowers post-9/11 veterans and their families with life-changing programs and services.
I realized I could be successful in a civilian career.
We stand by warriors and advocate for their needs going forward.
They were by my side in the hospital, and they're still with me today.
Through our programs, community, and advocacy, we're proving
anything is possible.
Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/connect.
It's the Stackable Savings Sale at Cabinets to Go.
Come in today for cabinets, countertops, accessories, installation, and more. And start enjoying your dream kitchen for as little as $143 per month. Don't wait. The Stackable Savings Sale ends soon.
Cabinets to Go. Wow for less.
When a cyber thief transfers the title of your home out of your name, it's a race against time to stop the theft of your hard-earned equity.
Many people don't know this has happened until long after it's done.
You as the homeowner think you still own a house. 3 months later, you start getting foreclosure notices and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house that you didn't even know existed.
So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim at HomeTitleLock.com.
What if you could tackle your dog's itching, mushy poops, and low energy? Millions of pet parents are raving about Dr. Marty Nature's Blend.
Such a huge difference in her health. More energy, more playful, no more pooping issues.
I'm Dr. Marty. I've been a veterinarian for more than 50 years. The dangerous ingredients added to many pet foods could be impacting your dog's lifespan. That's why I formulated Nature's Blend.
Now you can feed your dog wholesome cuts of real meat, vegetables, and fruit with no artificial preservatives or fillers. Try Dr. Marty risk-free. Go to drmartypets.com/TV.
Kevin paid off over $12,000 in credit card debt with the help of Consolidated Credit. They cut his interest rates and lowered his payments so he could pay off his debt fast. Call 800-596-8062 for a free consultation.
Christopher Steele probably wanted to go down in history as someone that colluded with the Clinton campaign to take down President Donald J. Trump, but I really think that you represent probably the ultimate grifter in the American political space. For you to even come on here, obviously you're trying to sabotage what President Trump is doing when it comes to Russia and Ukraine. But to sit here, what is it, nearly a decade after you tried to smear President Trump as a Russian asset, to then say, well, I think he's a Russian asset, but even though I'm really good at my job and create all these intelligence reports, it's just sort of a feeling that I have. I'm sorry, what stones do you even have left to turn over to try to corroborate your claim that President Trump is a Russian asset? You what? Weaponized FISA courts, surveillance, warrants, not just domestic spy agencies, international spy agencies too, the entire DNC apparatus, a bunch of political operatives and registered foreign agents here in the United States. The American people would really appreciate it if you would stop injecting your efforts to curtail and totally tank the America First movement by smearing anyone who doesn't want to get involved in forever wars or continue the needless and ceaseless dying of in Ukraine and in Russia, just so you can sit there from your nice perch and just continue to defend the globalist world order by continuing to fan the flames of conflict in Russia and Ukraine. And you know what? The same people that you ally yourself with here in the United States, you think you're so good at gathering intelligence. Last time I checked, it was the 51 intel agency officers, spies, who said that the Hunter Biden hard drive, which I've reported on firsthand, it's legitimate. You want to talk about president's sons who are involved in businesses with foreign countries? Well, I'd like to introduce you to Hunter Biden, right? When those 51 people that I'm sure that you know all too well, you were probably likely involved with the drafting of that letter, said that was Russian disinformation. Well, it turned out that that was true, and shame on you for the last decade trying to inject the idea that smearing President Trump as a Russian agent or a Russian asset is somehow going to tank the MAGA movement. It's about putting America first, and the fact that you can still sit here and you have no actual evidence beside one random Russian meeting and, oh, we need to just continue to get more evidence. You're a complete political hack and grifter, and I wish the American political scene didn't have your voice in it.
All right. Well, Christopher Steele, you're about to leave us because you're only here for this part of the panel. But your response finally to that?
My response is that I'm a professional intelligence officer and an expert on that part of the world. I'm not a politician.
Was the Hunter Biden hard drive Russian disinformation then, if you're such an expert?
Let him finish. Let him finish.
So I've been a loyal and close ally of the United States for probably most of the last 40 years. I've worked extremely closely with officials working for administrations, both Republican and Democrat. I have a very strong US client base for which I've worked and produced information over many years, none of whom have ever made any such allegation against me. And it's palpable nonsense to claim that I'm in hoc with politicians.
I'm so glad the Clinton campaign didn't say that about you.
Well, I never worked for the Clinton campaign. I never had any contact with the Clinton campaign. That's the reality of it.
You're a subcontractor.
I think Fusion GPS would beg to differ.
I produced a report for a partner firm in Washington, and the results of that report made me, as an ally of the United States, as I would have expected an American counterpart to do, to report back in what I found to the contacts I had in the FBI at the time.
Okay.
That was the right do, and I'm proud that I did.
All right,
we're going to leave it there. No, I think everyone's had their say about
I'd love his expert opinion.
Let's leave it there.
Natalie Winters, that's a mic drop. I think his day rate just dropped by half after that. Natalie Winters, sum it up at the White House. Sum it up at the White House, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Screw you, Christopher Steele. You just got wrecked by a 24-year-old girl. You can follow me at Natalie G. Winters on all platforms.
Toughest boot letter from the University of Chicago. Very proud of you, ma'am. Keep fighting. Natalie G. Winters.
Thank you.
Our White House correspondent. Yeah, he has not been talked to like that. He needed to be talked to like that. He's grifted and made a career of trying to destroy President Trump with the most salacious, filthy gossip. And that's all it was, all generated, made up, 100% of it, a complete hack. And I am so proud of that young woman to sit there toe-to-toe and take him on. Mike Lindell, and we started the hour with Alex Jones. People are being swatted. They're trying to have assassination by cop. They're trying to make people intimidated. Mike Lindell, they're coming after you. I say the second hardest out to President Trump. They're all over you. IRS, this crooked attorney general in the state of Minnesota after you, all of it. Give us an update and then sell me a pillow, sir.
Yes, and to give everybody an update, the Attorney General, it's not so much, Steve, that they're coming after me, but they're coming after my pillow and my employees. I mean, this is an employee-owned company. It's just disgusting. If they're coming after me to shut me up, to quit talking about the election platforms, and everybody, you can check it out. Just Google my name. You'll see the Attorney General coming at me. There's no logical sense to it whatsoever. These charities and these foundations, I put all the money back in the day. They're auditing, going all the way back to 2018. I put in 100% of the money. Did I forget to take a deduction? I mean, this is insanity. It was to help. I think they don't like it, Steve, because it's helping people get from addiction to Jesus Christ. And I really believe it's either that or political or maybe both. And that's where it's at. So everybody, what do we do at My Pillow? My employees, they're worried every day. They keep, when is it going to end? When are the attacks going to stop? We're not giving up. I'm not going to stop talking. So what we do is we just keep selling. They've canceled us at box stores. They've canceled us all over the place. And so we're so grateful to the War Room. And you guys get specials no one else gets on the planet. And today we're launching one today. All the spring sheets here. It's a spring sheet sale, our Percale and Giza Dream Sheets. This is an exclusive price in history. The queens as low as $29.98. They're regularly $99.98 or $89.98. The king size $34.98. They're regular $99.98. There's free shipping options available there. You save 50% on the Giza Dream Sheets. These and by the way, everybody, when you ask about our great president, Donald Trump, his favorite product of My Pillow are the sheets. He's told me that so many times. You wouldn't think that your sheets affect how you sleep that much, but they really do. We have the best sheets in the history of sheets. So go to mypillow.com, scroll down till you see Steve. We put him higher up there. You'll find him right away. Click on it. Use that promo code War Room. You guys, there's a crossover special today, too.